Fresh facts have emerged while there was shooting at the presidential villa, Abuja on Thursday evening. Vanguard reliably gathered that attempt by the presidential assistant Sabiu Tunde Yusuf to find his way out of the Aso Rock premises led to shooting as he struggled to zoom off. A villa staff who claimed to have witnessed the incident told Vanguard that police officers attached to the office of the First Lady, Dr. Aisha Buhari and Sabiu, came out through the artillery gate to the park opposite former officers' mess. The source said, at about 6 p.m., I saw about 4 police officers following Sabiu. He was wearing blue kaftan and barefooted. We were wondering whether anything had happened to the president, as Sabiu is a personal aide to the president and very influential in the government. Police went to his house inside here, House 8, and scaled through the fence to arrest him. Likely he had an already stationed vehicle waiting for him there before he scaled through the fence. Meanwhile, the police had their own people waiting for him here also. All exit points in the villa were blocked because of him. There was a waiting one-door vehicle with a driver and one other person. Immediately Sabiu managed to enter inside the vehicle, the police officers started struggling with the driver even as the car was on motion and it nearly hit other vehicles at the park. The driver managed to control the steering even as the police officers from the First Lady office made attempts to stop without success. The police then ordered the barricade that leads to the entrance gate should be closed as they were shooting close to the gate. Unfortunately, the security personnel at the gate had closed for the day and the barricade was up. As the Sabiu vehicle closed the gate, there were gunshots about 3 times, but the vehicle managed to escape and sped off. There was confusion everywhere that made security personnel majorly made up of operatives of Department of State Services (DSS) who were on duty at the pilot gate to rush to the scene. However, there were conflicting reports on the gunshots at the State House, which was unusual and only witnessed during the military coup, while one account has hit that the shots were targeted at the tires of the vehicles to deflate them so that Rabiu could be rounded up. Another account has it that the gunshots were fired on the air to frighten and stop the vehicle from escaping. Besides, there were also conflicting reports on what led to the confusion. An account initially alleged that Sabiu had traveled out to London on a business trip with a well-known oil magnate from Lagos State. Another one said that he went to visit his family in Lagos as the wife was said to have delivered a baby recently. Sabiu, who is popularly known as Tunde, a name he took after Tunde Idiagbon, the second in command to the Major General Muhammadu Buhari during the military regime, is said to be very close to the president and highly respected at the villa, a villa source told Vanguard. Tunde is very powerful here. He is a nephew to the president and very close to the late Chief of Staff Malam Abba Kyari. Governors, ministers and all who respect him so much. It was reported that on Thursday night, the First Lady, accompanied by her children Zara, Alima and Yusuf, took a team of policemen led by her ADC to forcefully confront Tunde following an earlier heated disagreement over his refusal to self-isolate after his trip to Lagos to see his wife, who had just given birth to a boy. It was alleged that when members of the first family got to the house, 8 guest chalet of the president, where Tunde resides with his family, there was an altercation between him and Dr. Buhari, her children, and her security aides. Tunde, as a report has it, fled on foot to the park opposite the non-functional officers' mess, where there was a waiting vehicle. His security aide, according to an eyewitness, was also at the park and offered him a nose mask as he managed to enter inside the waiting vehicle. It was alleged that he drove straight to the residence of Mama Daura, where he took shelter for the night. A presidential source said that Inspector General of Police IGP Mohammed Adamu, after receiving complaints on the incident, arrived at the presidential villa Friday morning and ordered that the police officers attached to the office of the First Lady, including her ADC, should be arrested and detained. It was gathered that Tunde was told to isolate himself for 14 days as a precaution to protect the first family from the ravaging coronavirus pandemic. Recall that Dr. Aisha Buhari had ordered her daughter that returned from the United Kingdom at the early stage of the COVID-19 outbreak in the country to quarantine herself for 14 days. She also shut her office after hearing that one of her aides came back from a country identified as high-risk country to protect other staff from being infected from the virus. A source had said on Thursday, when the First Lady had heard that he was still coming to work, she asked him to self-isolate, but he told her that the president said he didn't have to. Her insistence led to a heated verbal exchange between them and the president was later informed about this. The president, however, took sides with Tunde and didn't see any reason why he should self-isolate at all. He said Zara and Halima, Buhari's daughters, left the villa to visit their in-laws when Halima's husband's uncle died recently, and they didn't self-isolate on their return. He also pointed to the fact that when his new chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, went to Lagos too, he didn't self-isolate on his return. So he didn't see any reason why Tunde should. So he overruled her. But infuriated by the arrest and detention of her aides, Dr. Aisha Buhari has urged the Inspector General of Police to free her ADC and other police aides taken into custody on the order of the police chief. The First Lady, in a verified Twitter handle, Aisha Buhari, wrote that COVID-19 is real and still very much around in our nation. It's not in doubt. Consequently, I call on the relevant government agencies to enforce the Quarantine Act signed by Mr. President and ensure no one is found violating this law and the NDCD guidelines, especially on interstate travel without the necessary exemptions for movement of essential. Anyone who does that should at the very least be made to undergo 14 days mandatory isolation, no matter who the person is. No one should be above the law, and the police command will do well to remember that. Finally, I call on the IGP to release my assigned staff who are still in the custody of the police in order to avoid putting their lives in danger or exposure to COVID-19 while in their custody. As at the time of filing this report, a source at the villa said, I guess Tunde has obeyed the First Lady's instruction. One thing still remains. One thing that people are asking, what is the president doing? Where is he? That all of these things have been happening. It's not now. It's been happening for a very long time. Why is it that the so-called wife, cannot talk to her husband? Why is it that she has to come outside to do all of that? Why is it that she could not relate this incident, this whole scenario, to her husband before going to meet with the said Tunde or Yusuf, as they call him? They ought to have discussed all that. And that was the same question they put to her when she was being interviewed on TVC. That why is it I can't, instead of coming out every now and then, why can't you have a relationship with your husband and have a pillow talk? She said, oh, there's no pillow talk because the man is always busy. Ask me what the Buhari has been doing, that Buhari will be so busy. We don't know whether, even if Buhari, even those who have many wives, they see in as much the First Lady must have a first-hand relationship or first-hand interaction with the president, even if he has other wives. Not to talk of we don't even know whether he has wives, but how can you tell us that the president has been so busy? What does he do? Somebody who does not talk to anybody, what does he do? They do most of the things on his behalf. So why will you tell us you don't have a pillow talk with the president? Since that time up till now, after all now, nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's traveling out of the country. So she would have even been able to do that. before coming out or before trying to enforce somebody to go on self-isolation. Of course, she has a good case, but the question is that she would have settled all of that with her husband, not coming out to, for them to be embarrassing her every now and then. And again, calling the IGP. Is she supposed to call the IGP? Is it not the president that's supposed to know what to do in the first place? Up till now, we have not heard that there is a ADC or the ACE, they've been released up till now. So does it, that means there's no, up till now, there's no pillow talk? Because if there's pillow talk, they would have released, they wouldn't have even arrested them in the first place. And she wouldn't have even gone to meet the so-said Tunde to be arrested or to be forced to go on isolation. Let them continue embarrassing themselves. The point of the matter is that the president is missing. He's not just there. That is it. Someone says the narration is as messy as the story and longer than the event. Something is going on in Aso Rock which they are hiding. God will one day expose them. PDP was bad, but APC is worse. This is just the beginning of war between you. More dangerous wars are coming to you and your family this year. If someone who refused to isolate himself and wanted to run outside, he could have been left to go but not to be returned back. But there's problem with this story is if it's someone how influential and close to Mr. President as claimed, why did he run to Mama Daura's house instead of President, who now gave the IG order to detain First Lady's personnel? Why will Mr. President, who is spending heavily on the issue of COVID-19, bother with the safety guidelines? One, the wife that is so concerned. Definitely, when you follow all these stories, you will agree with me that there is some smoke somewhere, and the people cannot manage the stage as the way the late chief of staff did. Let's wait for the time. Why didn't police arrest Aisha children as well? Because they connived with their mother to behave illegally. There should have been a coup d'etat. Okay. Government of the terrorists, so shameful, very very shameful. That young boy should be very careful with his life. You don't dine with kings and queens and behave anyhow, you will die for nothing. Who those who are close to him should caution him heavily. A family and private issue not fit for public consumption. Do me. Headless horse of a nation. Imagine in Asu Rock, everything is messed up completely because the man there is not capable, he's not competent. That is just the way it is. No other name to give to it. No need to be politically correct. That is just the way it is. The embarrassment is just too much. People are just trying to patch up what is not supposed to be patched. So guys, let us hear your opinion concerning all these stories here and there.